G'day, fellas. Alright, so today, what are we doing? Well, with June right around the corner, we have decided to put together a Dune Awakening build. This will be the build that I'm going to be using. It's a Swordmaster melee-based build. And I've got two builds here. I've got one with the bare minimum, like the sort of your first 10 hours worth of gameplay, and then I've got the second build, which is all the points fully fleshed out, and what you should be rocking in the end game. The reason we're doing that is because the way the game works is you have access to every class on the one character, but you pick your starter class. So for instance, I'm picking the Swordmaster. If I didn't pick the Swordmaster, I might not be able to access his skills for 20-30 hours, depending on where he is in the campaign. So I'm picking the Swordmaster first, and then I've put together this smaller build with a friend Orth in Discord, and this one will sort of get you through the early mid game very comfortably, okay, and transition into the end game build. All right, so let's go over it really quick. First of all, we're going to be taking knee charge. This is an amazing ability. You aim your cursor at the enemy, it will show a little reticle. You hit knee charge and you fly through the air like a ninja, kneeing them in the chin, and they die. In the starter zone, in the first area, everything gets one shot by this. I haven't tried knee charging a sandworm yet. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Let me know. So we'll take knee charge, come up to field medic, makes our heals heal us for more. We'll get disciplined breathing, increased stamina recovery. We'll get optimized hydration. It gives us a stamina bonus, and conditioning, which gives us more bonus max stamina. We can take deflection, which is really cool. You feel like a Jedi. You can put this on your skill bar when you're in an area with lots of gunfight. You activate this, you're a Jedi. You're just swinging your blade around, deflecting the bullets and the darts. And then we go up to bleed tolerance, so we don't get bled as much. And up into solid stance, reducing poison damage that we take. Then the main thing over here, this is where we get the juicy damage. So blade damage, we grab Dance of Blades. Defeating an enemy with a blade empowers your next attack with a blade for a brief period. So this is going to be really nice when you're in a group melee battle, right? Are you bouncing between one enemy to another? So yeah. Then we got Longblade damage. I do plan to specialize in Longblades. Now, if you don't want to use Longblades, use short blades. No big deal. you can easily just use the short blades instead. That's fine. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to grab Eye of the Storm. Pretty much like a little dance, a little whirlwind that you do, hitting all enemies around you while you're in the center of it. Very strong, very good for if you're getting ganged up on a little bit. All right. Then after we've done a bit of questing, we will unlock the Trooper in the first zone. So the Trooper class is this one, and we want Sugar Wire Claw. All right. This is a grappling hook. You can use it to traverse up cliffs. You can use it with your jump boosters and stuff like that to go quite far. You can use it on enemies to stun them and players. So very, very powerful ability. Kind of a must on most, I would say. So make sure you pick this up and go do the Trooper before you leave the first zone. Then we're coming up, grabbing 1 point in Battle Hardened, ability cooldown reduction 20%. Like 1 point in this you could get away with for the whole time, really. Like 20% just for 1 point. All right, you get an extra 10% for 2 more points, but you know, I'll leave that up to you guys. Then we come over here. We can get some range damage here, just 1 point to move up. Come up here. Then we come to reduce durability loss and reduce maximum durability loss. Right, these 2 points are very useful to sort of sustain your gear and make it feel like less of a chore to keep your gear maintained. Okay, I would definitely recommend investing in these two. I'm going to be taking these all the way to 3 points. Okay, planetologist. So when you're in the first zone and you are getting your motorbike in the dungeon, which is east of the trading post, you will be able to go up on top of the cliffs around there. There's the planetologist. They will actually send you down into the dungeon where you get all the motorbike parts. And there's a secret door behind a bookcase near the boss room and a quest item in there. You go hand that in and you will unlock the planetologist. Planetologist is just a great all-rounder class. It's got, you know, all these are like different gathering yields, power generation for your suit, durability for your motorbikes and stuff like that, mining yield for your vehicles. We'll be investing a fair few points into this tree. It will save you a lot down the road. Okay, so that is the starter build. So that's 54 points. You know, you can put them how you like. You'll probably put a couple of points in here, and then I would jump over and I would grab, you know, sugar wire, and just bounce around, grab what you need to until we unlock the next part. So now we're going to go into the end game build. So once you've got all the classes unlocked and you're able to really flesh out your character, all right, we're going to look like this. All right, actually awesome. So let's have a look at the abilities we've got down on our hotbar first. So we have Sugarwire Claw for stunning enemies and traversing cliffs. We have Weirding Step, which you will pretty much teleport behind an enemy and kill him. It's really good to get. It's a good gap closer. That with knee charge, you're always going to have that gap closer, right? Then from Battle Hardened, you're going to have your cooldown reduction, so these abilities are off cooldown quicker. Discipline Breathing, you're going to have better stamina recovery rate, which is really good for, especially for melee, because swinging that weapon, your stam's going to drop super quick. And then Thrive on Danger, when you're on low health, you regenerate health faster, receive less poise damage, and reduce all stamina cost. Now, a quick note, I will probably remove Thrive on Danger when I go into PvP, and I will interchange that with Iron Will. You have developed such a strong sense of self, you are able to alter your thought patterns to avoid manipulation from a Bene Gesserit's voice at the cost of stamina. So whenever a Bene Gesserit uses powers on you, you will just take a stamina hit. Okay, if you have no stamina, then you're in trouble, but you'll take a stamina hit instead of actually getting like mind controlled or whatever, right? So this is going to be a very powerful ability in PvP. While we're in the Bene Gesserit tree, we'll go over, we pick up 1 point in Sentinel. It's okay for like lower tier zones, but as soon as things have shields, it really falls off. Okay. Coming up into here, Game Break, reduce durability loss and reduce maximum durability loss. We've got Solideo Decoy. You can project like a decoy of yourself. And we've also got shield wall. So even though we can't fit all of these skills on our bars, we've got them for the situations where you might want them. Maybe you're doing a really high intense dungeon where you have to step back a little bit and use more ranged attacks. You can throw out a shield wall, right? And crouch behind it, have cover. You can put out your clone, whatever, you want to confuse some people. So in Trooper, this is how we ended up. Pretty much the same as the starter tree I showed you guys, except we've maxed these two out, and we've maxed out Battle Hardened. Okay. We've looked at the Mentat, so Planetologist, here it is. We grabbed a bunch of the Gathering stuff and some of the fuel efficiency stuff, fuel use, mining yield, and reduce maximum durability loss of vehicles. Okay. And then we get to the Bene Gesserit tree. Now this one, this is where you can sort of have a look. So if you wanted to go with the short blades, instead of having this one here, the Longblade points, you would just remove these points from here. And in the Bene Gesserit tree, you would put them into here for short blade. Okay? So either way, both is going to be fine. So we start off, we get Bendu Sprint. Everyone should probably know this. If you've watched any videos, it's the one where you run like the Flash. Okay? Blade damage. We need more blade damage. Perfect. Wording Step. This is the teleport behind the guy and stab him in the ankles. And then Bendu Dodge. When enough spice permits your bloodstream, you become able to combine your prana, I can't say these words, training with your limited ability to see the future after a successful parry. Darts and blade attacks pass through you. So you are immortal. Okay, so pretty cool one. And this is a passive. So this is active all the time that you are in your Super Saiyan mode, which is later in the game. I'm not going to spoil that for anyone. Okay. Coming over here, we have this. This is a really amazing section of the tree. You've got health regen, health healing efficiency, maximum health, sunstroke reduction, so you can stay out in the sun longer, and poison tolerance. Okay, really, really great cluster here. There's quite a few nice nodes around here. Like these, there's a lot you can swap around if you really want. Okay. And this is the rest of the Swordmaster. I don't think we went over it all, did we? So I did go over the deflection. It's like you're a Jedi. You just pew 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 deflect all the abilities. Bleed tolerance, so it takes longer for them to build bleeds on your character. Reduce poise damage. And every time you attempt a difficult attack, like a sprint attack or a slow blade, you gain increased confidence, which reflects as damage mitigation. Okay, so poise damage reduction is really good. That's like when people hit you with melee and you get sort of staggered. Mitigating as much of that as possible is going to be really helpful. Thrive on danger. This is one of the passives we'll be using. I feel like it's going to be a real nice one. It's going to get you out of some hot situations. When you're low on health, you regenerate health faster, receive less poise damage, and reduce all stamina costs of actions. Okay. Then coming over here, we come up, we grab the Dancer Blades, which we already had, which is defeating an enemy with blades impale your next blade attack. You can keep this on if you're fighting a lot of NPCs. I personally will probably keep this on. long-bladed damage, where I'm planning on using swords and stuff, so that's that. We've swapped over to you enter a heightened state of awareness, and when next attacked in melee, you parry and strike back. Okay, and precise parry, when your blood is infused with Maligna, your parries expose additional weaknesses in the defenses of your enemies. Their ability to mitigate damage is decreased, and this is a passive, always active when you're in the presence that shall not be named. Okay. We went over Trooper. We went over Mentat. I mean, I think we went over everything, did we? Heck yeah. Alright. Perfect. I will leave a link to both of these builds in the description of the video. Jump in the Discord if you want to join our clan, find out what server we're going to be on. Or if you just want to find out what server cluster we're going to be on so you can kill us in the deep desert, that too. Yeah, I hope to see you in the game. And until next time, boys, peace.